Well, good morning. It's 6:44 on this Wednesday morning. I'm Nick Wilson.
And I'm Ethan Foreman.
And overall, a fairly pleasant day ahead.
Yeah, not too bad out there as we see some sunshine, but also some clouds and also fire danger risk and even an isolated shower chance, all in the forecast for today. Ho-Chunk Center camera in downtown Sioux City shows some partial clearing out there this morning as we see that sunrise about 10 minutes away. Temperatures right now are sitting generally in the 30s and 40s across the area. 33 in Wayne, 31 the cool spot in Esterville, 38 in Sioux City and Tacoma, and 42 in Neely and Vermilion. We also have red flag warnings, as I mentioned, to the north and west today, mainly west of I-29, where we could see that fire danger risk mainly between 1 and 8 p.m. So please stay away from any burning today. An isolated shower is possible from time to time as we see highs generally around 70 degrees. More details on when we could even touch 80 degrees. That's coming up in your full forecast.
Well, as the trade war continues to escalate, worries are growing for Siouxland farmers as we get closer to the planting season. Last year, American agriculture exports totaled $175 billion, with China being one of the largest trading partners. Farmers worry that increasing tariffs will lead China and other countries to purchase soybeans from Brazil and Argentina, leaving U.S. producers high and dry. One farmer says it's getting to the point where growing soybeans won't be a viable business model.
Yeah, even before this whole thing took place, soybeans did not look very profitable, if profitable at all. And now, if you're looking at the new crop contract, corn's had good demand, so that makes sense. But I think you also see a reduced soybean number because people are just not excited about growing a crop that you're not really going to make money on.
In the meantime, Trump cabinet members say the new tariffs on China will have no exceptions. Well, elsewhere, the Iowa Pharmacy Association continues to urge lawmakers to pass two bills aimed at reforming pharmacy benefit managers. Now, those are the middlemen between insurance and pharmacies. The bills would require PBMs to pay pharmacies as much as it costs them to dispense medications. Right now, pharmacies are sometimes forced to either refuse to fill a prescription or lose money on it. One rural pharmacy in central Iowa says if these measures are not passed this session, they will have to close their doors in just weeks.
When you're filling prescriptions for less than you buy them for, you can't even pay the light bill, let alone pay the pharmacist or the tax or buy the labels on the bottles to fill the prescriptions. Never did we imagine that we could lose so much money. The more scripts we fill, the more money we lose.
At this time, Spring City Pharmacy is the only independently owned pharmacy in all of Jasper County. Well, meanwhile, the Iowa House passed a 2% funding increase for public schools. Now, that bill was passed along party lines. It also includes a $5 increase to per pupil equity, aimed at helping rural schools. House Republicans say the measure will be enough to help Iowa school districts meet their bottom lines. But House Democrats warn it's not enough, and schools will have to find the money somewhere.
Many of our school districts, at least half of them, are going to be looking at raising property tax rates. I know 2 of my school districts have already proposed tax levy increases, and one as drastic as 88 cents.
This plan, the SSA increase with all the additional pieces the House fought for, is a $105.9 million increase, and we're looking out for our rural districts while putting more money on the base per pupil and increasing teacher pay.
The bill passed in the Iowa Senate on Monday. It now heads to the governor's desk. All right, it's time we meet today's Stray of the Day, and it's Still Waiting Wednesday. Every Wednesday, we feature a pet at Sioux City Animal Adoption and Rescue who's been waiting quite some time to find a forever home.
That's right, and this is Annie, a 2 to 3 year old female Chihuahua mix that weighs about 10 pounds. She was originally adopted from the rescue, but recently made her way back there through no fault of her own. The rescue says despite her small size, she has a big heart and loves just about everyone. Annie is available for adoption now.
And if you've lost your pet, you're looking to adopt, or you'd like to sponsor a pet for adoption, like Annie, then you can visit the rescue's website. That's SiouxCityAnimalRescue.com. And Annie sure looks like a nice dog.
Oh, I love the smile on her in that photo. That is such a good photo of her.
Yeah, she looks like she has a lot of energy.
Yeah, and the wind is also going to have a lot of energy today as we see some red flag warnings across the area with gusts up to 30 miles per hour, relative humidity as low as 19%, and also those temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Fires will spread rapidly in these conditions, so please stay away from any burning, especially if you are in those warnings. That includes Dakota, Union, as well as Lincoln counties westward, mainly along and west of I-29 in Nebraska and South Dakota. And the rest of us still want to make sure you're careful while you're burning today if you absolutely have to. Satellite and radar does show that low pressure system and an included front tracking to our east now as we see some clouds, but we'll gradually see that clearing take place as we head through the rest of the morning into the early afternoon. By this evening, there is another small chance of a shower that could pop up mainly in southwestern Siouxland, and that will shift northeastward as we head through the overnight hours. You can see another chance of an isolated shower overnight into Thursday morning, but most of us will stay completely dry. A batch of some clouds will track in our region with yet another spotty chance of a shower to the east on Thursday, with areas generally along and east of Interstate 29 seeing more clouds, west of I-29 seeing more fire danger again, and also more sunshine for Thursday. Well, everyone will start to see more sunshine as we head into Friday as a high pressure system tracks to the east. The winds will be a lot calmer, so hence there's not as much fire danger risk on Friday, with rainfall amounts through the end of the week looking very minimal at best. 72 degrees today, spotty showers, warm and windy, and gusts up to 30 miles per hour, dropping down to 40 tonight as we see partly cloudy skies. Spotty showers are possible at sunset after 8 o'clock now. Those temperatures warming up or cooling down rather for Thursday, back in the mid 60s and mid 60s again for Friday, getting hot this weekend with more fire danger risk possible. A little bit of a cool down early next week, but then warming back to 72 degrees and some clouds, maybe an isolated shower or storm by Thursday, April 17th.
Now we turn to sports, where there's more spring sports action from across the metro and beyond. Anthony Mitchell has the highlights right here in your morning sports wrap.
Good morning, Siouxland. High school track and field teams from all three Siouxland states met at the finish line last night as 9 boys and girls squad participated in the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies invite, starting off here in the field events. Going to the high jump on the girls' side, Homer's Janessa Overgard, check it out, clearing the bar with ease. Teammate Tori Walker would take second at 5 foot even. Boys 110-meter hurdles, a close race between EPJ and Dakota Valley Huskies. Landon Johnson would get the goal of the new PR of 16.53 seconds. Asher Pfeiffer, I should say, in second with his own PR of 16.87. Boys 100-meter dash, heat 4, lighting up the leaderboard. Braylon Lopez of West Sioux coming in just 0.3 seconds behind first with a PR of 11.2 seconds. And in the girls' 800-meter relay, Aubrey Warden and Corin Kimball from Dakota Valley trying to catch up to EPJ on the third leg of the race. Coming down the stretch, Huskies take second, Panthers third. DV boys finishing second to pace our local teams, matching up with the Panthers girls squad. The Morningside Mustangs softball squad came in yesterday, winning 5 of its last 6 games, looking to keep the good times rolling, hosting Concordia in a GPAC doubleheader. GPAC Player of the Week, Mackenzie Harrell, cranked 3 home runs this past weekend. Concordia looking to stop a 3-game skid. Harrell picks up right where she left off, finds the gap. This one bounces all the way to the fence. Her 13th consecutive game with a hit. It's a big one, puts the Stangs up 1-0. Morningside looking for more. Next batter, Josie Hernandez pokes it out to right field, goes under the Concordia glove there. Harrell scores all the way from second. Storm Lake product in for a stand-up triple. Stangs win game 1, 8-0 in 5 innings. Follow that up with a 7-1 win in game 2, extending its win streak to 4 games. Our Sports Zone Basketball Player of the Year countdown continues as it's time to reveal our next nominee on the boys' side as well as the girls, featuring a pair of Northwest Iowa products that played big roles in their team's postseason success. Starting off the girls' side, our first up first. Cherokee guard Addie Wolfswinkle, the sophomore, led the Braves in scoring, averaging 19.9 points per game, a mark 5th best in all of Class 3A. Wolfswinkle helped guide the Braves back to the state tournament for the first time since 2021, ending the year with 21 wins, its most since the 2020-21 campaign. Wolfswinkle was just one of 2 players in the Lakes Conference that were top 3 in points per game, assists, and steals per game. On the boys' side, it's Montse Kusango Malu out of East High. Malu poured in 13.4 points per game to go along with 10.3 rebounds, just one of 2 players in the MRAC to average a double-double. The senior, who led the team with 1.7 steals per game, shot over 60% from the field this season, scoring double figures in 18 of the Black Raiders' 23 games this season. That's your look at sports. Have a good day, Siouxland.
Now let's take a look at this morning's top stories, what you need to know before you go. In North Sioux City, voters chose their first mayor and commissioners under a new form of city government. In the race for mayor, Chris Bogenreef won over Greg Meyer by a margin of 72 votes. The 4-year commissioner seat was won by Lynn Hoffman by 15 votes, and Julie Burhoop took the 3-year seat by a margin of 162 votes. Meanwhile, Jessica Strain won the 2-year seat by 56 votes, and the 1-year seat goes to David Wilch by a razor-thin margin of just 2 votes. Up next, the election certification process will take place on April 14th. And meanwhile, in Yankton, City Commission and School Board seats were on the line. 9 candidates were on the ballot in the race for 3 commissioner seats. Each seat carries a 3-year term. The winners are David Spencer with more than 1,100 votes, Brian Bursch with more than 1,000 votes, and Bill Conkling with just over 850 votes. Now, in the school board election, 5 candidates faced off for a pair of 3-year seats. The winners are Justin Frick with just over 1,300 votes and Sarah Brandt with more than 1,200 votes. Election certification for the commissioner race is set for Friday. The school board race will be certified on Monday. And back in the Metro now, the Woodbury County Board of Supervisors continues to look at multiple options to balance the budget for the upcoming fiscal year. Yesterday, the board froze 12 positions in county conservation and 1 in building services. Those moves are expected to save up to $200,000. However, the board is facing a $2.1 million deficit. Board Chair Dan Bittinger tells us he's confident they'll be able to find more savings.
We've already cut out over $1.5 million, and we are finding other savings in other revenue streams that were just undocumented, that we didn't know were coming into the county. And so as we are doing a full review, our department officials and our elected officials, they are doing great at making sure, going through and doing a review of all of our accounts.
The board needs to approve the budget by April 28th. And finally, demolition work is nearly complete at the former home of KCAU-9. As you can see in this video from yesterday, the last wall is coming down at 625 Douglas Street. That wall is also shared with 615 Douglas, which remains standing at this time. The demolition of 615 is on hold until engineers can determine whether the building is structurally sound enough to be saved. Well, one last check on that forecast. Overall, we've got some pleasant days coming up.
Yeah, just got to deal with some fire danger risk and maybe a spotty shower as we see warm and windy conditions for our Wednesday. A high temperature of 72, gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Sunrise just happening 6 minutes ago. And partly cloudy, a few showers tonight as we drop down to 40 with gusts up to 25 miles per hour. Still, your 9 on 9 forecast showing some sunshine, but more clouds to the east on Thursday. A spotty shower, not impossible east of I-29. West of I-29, more fire danger risk for Thursday. Friday, we get a bit of a break from that as we see winds lighter, but then we warm up with more wind this weekend. Cool down early next week.
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday sure looks nice. That Monday temp, though, gonna be a rude awakening.
Yeah, but that's average.
All right, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.